leadership versus management and what that is. So in thinking about what that leadership journey would look like, think of the field of music, and a technician would be the musician. The musician is a technician, the person who understands that craft very well and knows how to play music, and that's what that craft is. The project manager, or the next level of management, would be the section lead, and that would be, for example, if you're a violin player, the section lead is the first violin, the concert mistress or the concert master, the person who tunes up the whole section to make sure that they are all playing on key, playing that A at 440 megahertz, and has all their music, and they're all playing off the same sheet of music. The conductor is managing groups of teams, groups of sections, and making sure that the intricacies of how they fit together works, and understands what the music is trying to say and where the music is going. So leadership may look like that. The conductor inspires the people to have emotion in their music, to emote when they need to emote, to have crescendos and decrescendos, and impart to the audience what the music really feels like. So enough of that analogy. Let's talk about leadership. And I want to give background on the history of leadership. And we started talking about leadership as a field in the 19th century. And at that time, it started with theory of called the great man theory. And the scholars looked at leaders or people who were thought to be leaders and looked at their traits and said, yes, those are the traits of leaders. The only thing about that is that they only looked at men, number one, and number two, some of the things that they found out about leaders is they were all tall, for example. And so does that mean that if you're short, you can't be a leader? Or if you want to be a great leader, you have to find a way to be taller? The short people can't be leaders. So there were limitations to that study. In the early 20s, leadership was looked at in the context of the industrial age and how to get people to produce more. They worked in factories, creating and building things. And leadership was thought of as the ability to get more out of people, to get loyalty out of the workers and cooperation. And then in the 40s, we had World War II, and leadership was thought of as the behavior of a person, like a general or a captain, that was directing activities out of a group and trying to orchestrate a certain outcome from a large group of people. In the 60s, we had the information age, and we had more complex organizations. So the leadership behaviors studied then were looking at what influenced people to move towards shared goals. In the 80s, after, have a nice day, peace and love, we looked at leadership as being non-coercive influence. How do you get people to do what you want to do without beating them over the head with something or forcing them to do something or things of that nature? And then finally, in where we are now in the 21st century and beyond, leadership looks at things like authenticity. Are you an authentic leadership? It looks at spirituality, your ability to inspire and breathe into your followers. Servanthood, are you really serving the institution and helping the institution reach their goals, or helping society get into a better place, or things like that? So let's keep it simple. Brene Brown has a definition of leader as someone who takes responsibility for finding the potential in people, and processes and who has the courage to develop that potential. And this leader is very self-aware. This leader is vulnerable, and this leader has courage. Warren Bennis looked at what was the difference between leadership and management. Leaders were visionary. Leaders set direction. They inspired and motivated people. They helped motivate people to reach long-range goals and objectives, where the manager was a builder and helped to create processes and develop people. They managed the status quo. They looked for efficiency and effectiveness. One of the sayings attributed to Warren Bennis is that I want to say that managers lay track and leaders point to the direction of where that track goes. So some of the takeaways for management, we want to communicate. We want to be real, and we want to help people make sense out of what's happening around them, to clear up the fog, to clear up the lack of understanding. And management also gives people the resources that they need to do their job. Whereas leadership leads from the balcony. You're not down on the factory floor with people. You're leading from the balcony. You're orchestrating outcomes. You help sense the stress in the workforce, and you help regulate those things that are adding stress. You help people stay focused on what the goal is and keep moving toward that goal. And then finally, you protect your followers from the distractions that keep them from reaching that goal.